Hi again, everybody. Tim Farrell here, and this is day 5 for us on our video series just talking about theory in floral design. And we're initially talking about the elements of design, so on day 5 we're going to talk about the element of pattern. Pattern is something that's a little bit harder to grasp, but we're going to try to really bring the terms down to very basic terms so that new designers that are joining this forum can understand that. But also I'm hoping that there's some information in here for more expert designers to maybe think about pattern in design and how they can use pattern, again, in their work to make their work more effective. So pattern for us is maybe initially learned, like if we make a traditional arrangement, maybe a round centerpiece for a table, if we very evenly place things in that arrangement. So say looking at it from the top, if we put something at 12 o'clock, something at 4 o'clock, something at 8 o'clock, there's a very even placement of materials for the eye to move to around the design to achieve a pattern. And we'll take a second material, maybe pattern that in the same way. And that's usually the way designers start to learn to use pattern in design. But there's some really fascinating ways that we can use pattern to make some really incredible compositions and make the patterns even more clever and more intriguing and something that maybe somebody won't notice when they first come up on a design, but as they look at it and they start to study the work, they'll see the patterns and understand the thought process behind it. One of the easiest ways to achieve pattern in a design is to actually repeat any of the other elements of design. So if we repeat a line movement, if we take things and make them very vertical, very up and down in a parallel design, just that parallel placement of the stems, maybe like how they would grow in the garden, can achieve a good pattern in design, and your eye follows that up and down movement to create a pattern. We can also repeat colors in the design, so we repeat, pink and then pink and then pink again. That's a way to achieve pattern. We can also use variation, which is for us a variety of things, a mixture of things in the design to achieve pattern. And one of them may be just a variation in the openness of a bloom. So if we take very large open roses and maybe put them towards the bottom of the design, and then have a rose that's just slightly less open than that, and maybe a half open rose all the way down to a bud, maybe higher in the design, that variation starts to achieve a pattern, and it's a growth pattern that we're applying within that design. So it goes from one stage of opening to another stage of opening. Similar to that, we could just have things on different levels of the design. So by staggering the height of the flowers in the design, we can go from the lowest level all the way up to the highest level to achieve pattern that way. So again, that's another way that we can achieve pattern in a design. Or we can vary the intensity of a color or intensity of a hue within the design, going from maybe a very dark emerald green through like a lime green to a chartreuse, maybe to a very, very pale green in the design, so that variation of the intensity or the hue that we're using as well can achieve pattern. So again, that's it in a nutshell. There's so much more to pattern that we could explore, but again, trying to keep it simple and keep these in bite-sized segments that we can just kind of digest on a day-to-day basis. But please share your ideas, post some ideas below here. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Share an idea of what you think pattern is in a design that might challenge me and maybe some other designers to think about that. And together we can all really challenge ourselves to do better as floral designers and make our work the best that it can possibly be. All right, that's all for today. Hopefully you'll join us tomorrow. Thank you so much. I'm Tim Farrell, signing out. Bye.